Now, the Ghana Police Service has come under intense criticism from the Ghanaian public since it reported the shooting of two personnel who were earlier named in their update on the Bullion van robberies as accomplices. Questions are being raised about the authenticity of their claim that the two were killed during a shootout with robbers in their hideout. The police on Wednesday reported that the two, that's Corporal Stephen Kweku Nyame and Constable Randolph Jima Asan, were shot during aid was part of an intensified operation after their preliminary investigations.
They opened fire on the police, and the police also retaliated, and that is why we said we believe some of them might have sustained injuries and are appealing to medical authorities to provide us with needed information should they come for treatment.
Okay, when you say they opened fire on the police, who opened fire on the police?
Oh, we are talking about the criminals. We are saying
great. So those criminals
cannot open fire on itself.
Good.
We're saying that there was an intelligence-led operations. A field operations that the two sustained injuries.
Finally, I just want this to be very clear. This question for you: were they part of the police team that went to Boteman, or they were in Boteman, part of the criminals?
We indicated that they were under arrest, and in the course of the special exercise at Boteman, they suffered injuries, sent to police hospital, and they passed on.
So you took them to Boteman?
But we were in the company of the police.
Were you not wearing any protectives, these persons who went to, as part of the intelligence exercise?
Let me say that it depends. Even if you are in a protective gear, it depends upon where the bullet hit.
So what do security experts make of this development? Let's go on to Zoom and speak to Richard Kumado, who is a fraud and security consultant. Grateful for your time. He joins us on the phone. First of all, let me take your reaction to the news that we have police officers who are indeed accomplices in these Bullion van robberies.
Definitely, considering the series and the sequence of events relating to the Bullion van robbery, I wasn't surprised at all at the outcome of the police investigation that we have people within who are masterminding the robbery itself. And I think the police will have to do a good job in cleaning up the service itself.
Now, the question has been raised about the standard procedure. The police, according to the account of DCOP Kwesifori, had the two initial suspects with them in the operation in which they sustained wounds and later passed on at the police hospital. Is that standard procedure?
What they did in this particular operation was that as suspect, they had the two guys with them based on the video that was circulating on social media as inside job. Then these two people were the one who led the operation to the hideout. The guys at the hideout saw them and realized that if these two guys are with us who are speaking to the police hierarchy, they might give them more information, so they deliberately took them out. Now, because they are leading the operation, then they went to the front line. And that is why the bullet hit them. Then you realize that Kwesifori was very evasive when they asked him about protective gears. What they did in this particular operation is to put the two guys in front, and they got hit by the bullet by their colleagues who saw them and recognized them as part of the criminals gang within the police service. So I'm not surprised with that particular line of communication.
But Mr. Kumado, the question then is, should the police have moved into operation with these two, seeing that they are the initial suspects who have critical information on these robberies? Should they be with them as part of such a major operation?
Yeah, it's two ways. They could have been with them and play a backup role and say, this is the place and you guys get in there and arrest A, B, C, D, particularly when the police said they were acting on intelligence. Or some people could have decided that you guys came in as politicians, we told you what to do, you are violating the rules and you are putting the Ghana police on the line. We will put you out there as body bags and you will receive the bullet. Remember, dead men don't talk. And that could have been one of the judgments on the part of whoever is leading this operation. But both ways, I agree with you that they could have been on the back seat while some other people with more experience get in there and get the guys arrested, or put them in front to lead us to the specific people we are after. Because remember, the police were struggling to get intelligence in line with this particular issue until the video came out and the police began to act based on the information on the video. So that is the two way we look at this particular issue.
Mr. Kumalo, kindly hold the line for me. Our research desk has been putting together some graphics on crimes that are allegedly have involved security personnel. Kofi J joins me in the studio. Kofi, what have you found with the statistics?
Right, so Ernest, there we have this. In 2021, there were at least 6 reported cases of bullion van arrests in 2021 alone. And then if you move to the next slide, which talks about the same 2021, the year under review. In January, we had just 1 case. In February, 1. In March, 1. And in June, there were 2 cases. And in October, we also had 2 cases. Now, in June, we had 2 bullion van attacks in 3 days. That was something that created an alarm in the year 2021 when bullion van attacks was in the rampage. Now, if you move to the next slide, which talks about the amount that the robbers were able to bolt away. If you look at, there was a case in the Adanse Fomena, in the Ashanti region, where the robbers were able to bolted away with an amount of 500 Ghana cedis. And then we also 500,000 Ghana cedis actually. Then we have one at the Takwa in the western region where the robbers bolted away with 107,000 Ghana cedis. Now, if you total this, it means that they were able to bolt away with an amount of 607,000 Ghana cedis in the period.
That's for 2021.
That's for 2021. Now, you remember that in Fomena, these were some of the cases where policemen who were escorting the van lost their lives. In Fomena, we had, a young policeman who was involved losing his life, and in the Adempo situation also,
that famous unfortunate incident
was also shot during the exercise. Now we are extending this to other, security sectors. So if you have in April 2020, we have the Atala robbery where police in Asankregua in the Ashanti region arrested 9 persons, including 2 national security operatives or personnel for robbing miners near Atala of their gold concentrate. This is national security operatives, occurred in April 2022. Now, in November 2021, so we've moved from 2020, moving to 2021.
So that was in April 2020.
Exactly, April 2020. Now we have 2021, the Kokrobite robbery, where police intelligence led to the arrest of 4 suspects, including, again, one identified as a national security operative. Now, the last one, which was in January 2022, 4 suspects, 1 immigration officer, 3 policemen were interdicted for stealing during an operation at Kui in the Bole district.
Kofi, thank you very much for bringing us those details. We still have Mr. Kumado on the line with us. Unfortunate, statistics there where you have police officers either involved or being affected, sustaining wounds or dying from the incident. How should we deal with this going forward?
I think one of the things Dan Parry and his men have to do is to have a critical look at the performance and the outcome of their operation. Then number 2, a supervisory role of police officers, which is effective to identify red flags on time. Then number 3, considering the nature of the recruitment and the pressure it comes with, background checks has been relegated to the background. But you cannot afford to recruit somebody with a negative background. That is what the problem they are facing. And cleaning up will be a tall job, but it is doable. And I expect them to do it. Because, my brother, do you know why? Once you do that, you are going to have people who form gangs within. They will be selling weapons to third parties, and they will become a source and a conduit for instability, insecurity, and even coup d'etat in the kind of environment we find ourselves. It is dangerous, but it is doable to clean up the system, and I encourage them to do so.
Mr. Kumad, I'm grateful for your time. That's a fraud and security consultant there speaking to us.